So the other day, I was playing frisbee with the dog at the park, and I noticed an abundance of small yellow flowers. You might call them dandelions. So I figured this would be a great thing, a great plant, a great organic material to try to make ink out of for the first time, because I've always wanted to make an ink and paint with, you know, the ink that I made. So that's what we're gonna do. So I separated all my dandelions into two different piles, and I decided that I'll try to make two different inks. One with a water base and one that has an alcohol base. I got a pot. I cut up all of the dandelions and tried to just get the most of the yellow parts into the brew, because I don't want to have too much green in there, because then it would kind of muddy up the color. And I have a feeling that this will be just kind of like a muddy, kind of orange yellow. I want it to be yellow, but I don't think it'll really turn out yellow. And so I filled up the pot, turned the heat on low, and just let it simmer for a while, hoping to extract all the beautiful yellows and stuff out of the dandelion. And so after it had simmered for a little bit, I got an immersion blender and decided to blend up all of the goodies just so that we get the maximum amount of color into our water. And then I let it simmer for another good maybe 20 to 30 minutes. And then so here we go, cutting some cheesecloth. We're gonna strain all of our hot goop, squeeze it out with some spoons because it's nice and hot. And then we're left with this big bowl of kind of brownish, yellow, green, orange. So it's very liquidy, it's mostly water, and I really don't want this much ink. So I'm going to put it back into the pot and simmer it down some more, make it thick and concentrated. That way, if I ever need more, I can just add more water. So for this one, I just filled up a mason jar with the dandelions, poured in a bunch of acetone up to the same level as the dandelions, and then also blended this one with an immersion blender, and just kind of let it chill for a while. Let all the alcohol extract all the, I don't know what it's extracting. I think a lot of this is like pollen, kind of, because I know pollen doesn't really dissolve in water, but it seems to be dissolving in the alcohol. So maybe this one will be more of a pollen-based ink, and then the other one, the water-based, will be more of a leaf and plant matter-based ink. And so here we go. We have acetone ink, got a good bit of that, maybe half a bottle. And then for the water-based, I might have let it simmer down too much because I only have a few drops, maybe like 10 milliliters or so. So I think they look pretty good. I got a nice water-based brown ink, and then I got a pretty bright yellow acetone ink. I'm not sure how either of them will look on paper, but let's go find out. Okay, so all in all, I think my first time making ink was a great success. I was coming into this project with no prior knowledge about how to make ink, and I definitely learned a few great things to use for next time. So, number one, apparently if you're making an ink out of some organic material like flowers or something, you should add a preservative like alcohol or something to the mix so that it doesn't rot. I made these inks and then probably about a week later I started this drawing, and I could definitely tell just how rancid it got just in a week, just from sitting in a little jar. It was definitely one of the smelliest inks and less pleasurable inks that I've used in my time, but I think the color turned out really well. Both of these inks definitely faded a good bit. The alcohol ink was already super light by itself, so after it sat on the paper for like a week or two, you could barely even tell it was there. The water-based was the same way. It definitely faded a little bit, but not as much. Definitely left me with just a nice kind of pale golden orange brown. So I'm pretty happy with the color that I got out of the water-based ink, not so much for the alcohol. But this was just a trial run, and I'm super stoked with how this piece came out, and you'll definitely be seeing more ink videos in the future. So that pretty much does it for this dandelion ink drawing and this ink making process. So thank you so much for tuning in. I will catch you in the next video.